Hello, everyone. This is Avi Harkishin from Charts. Let's jump into SPY. Before I talk about SPY, let's take a look at the Discord. Give me a second here. Let me just go to SPY. So I've been keeping the team updated in terms of last night, what I got going on, and so we're expecting some downside for SPY based on the analysis I gave out last night. I talked about all the dark pool data, the option flow, and everything. So whenever we're doing some analysis in here, I want to make sure data is supporting what we're saying. Um, so I talked about these level based on the dark pool and gamma exposure. I talked about the 507. If we could get above 507, you'll find bullish pressure favoring continuation towards 515, 520, and possibly 525, which was the top based on the dark pool and the gamma data that I was looking at. And this here, you see that big spike right here? That was the 525, 526. That was what you call a resistance wall on the gamma exposure. So the moment you get to that level, you're probably going to see some resistance and you're going to bounce right back and you start getting pulled at the bottom here, all the way back down. And it's pretty thin. And that's what happened today. So we had that, and I expect a retracement down towards that 490 at least for SPY today. Expected this to happen somewhere within that 415. I mean that 515 to 525 level. I couldn't really tell exactly which one it is. The bull case scenario is that if we break that 525, you're gonna get all the way on top here and then have that retracement. But 525 was the level we really wanted to watch. So I talked to the team about that. Talked about all the dark pool levels and everything. Well, yeah. So now let's go into today. I was keeping them updated, and when price dipped below that 515, that was sort of like a confirmation here, saying once price gets below 515, you're gonna see those gamma exposure start pulling price to the downside, and that's what exactly happened. So you saw it, price got pulled all the way down, and when I posted this, I gave an update as well over here, and you saw what happened. And if you look at the charts now, let's see where the charts at. Nope, that's not the one. Okay, here it is. So price was pulled all the way to that 490 level. So pretty incredible. So we use data to analyze charts as well, just to make sure that no member is jumping into the market and they're trading blind. I want to make sure they have all the data possible to support the trades that they're making. And we tend to have about a 70 to 80% hit rate. And what that means is that all the targets and the path that's been set forth tend to do about 70 to 80% hit rate. That's pretty good. And a 30% time when maybe 20-30% time whenever I'm wrong or the timing is off, you have your risk management. So we always entering trades with proper risk management so that you're walking out with a profit, you're not blowing your account up. Now, let's take a look at SPY and what I think could happen going into tomorrow. So I have two possible scenarios with SPY. I have this ABC pattern that you're seeing here. That's the ABC pattern. So I have it come down towards that 477, 472 area tomorrow, somewhere within that range. If I'm to pick a range, I'll say, let's just say 475. And this is your C wave. You have and if I'm to do the count, you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and you'll have the fifth wave coming down tomorrow to complete this wave C. Oh, by the way, before I do that, as you can tell, all these whales targets got hit, which I put out yesterday. So I put the whales target out, and as you can see, the whales target got hit, and then you had the whales lower target, which they hit as well. So at least we know where we're trading, we know what the targets are, and where support and resistance are. So while you're trading, quite important to know those things. So yeah, tomorrow I'm expecting somewhere around that 477, 472, maybe 475 area. So if you take your fib extensions and you start from the top here, you have your wave A, your B, and now you have your C, and your C is around that 473 area right there. 477, 475. So you have 473 area. So that's where the target is for tomorrow that we're looking at for SPY, right within this range over here. Let me just clear that up, change it so at least you know. Don't go short when it's in that range. That's for you to get out of your short position once we get to that range. Now, if we're holding this range, that 490, don't jump into short position, guys. You got to break that 490. Want to see that 490 break to see us move down. But obviously, I'm not sure where we're trading at right now. Don't really care to check anyways. I don't want to use that to fill my bias that I have. So I think we're going to come down. You're going to see us come down towards this maybe tomorrow morning, pre-market probably. And within that 477, 473 range. And so don't jump into the market trying to short it in the morning. Be careful, because we're fulfilling this range right here. Now, once we get there, we completed this ABC pattern. So two things could play out, and you can start seeing some upside where SPY has completed its entire wave count, and now you can see a strong push to the upside tomorrow where you start doing this. Now, that's a bull case scenario, guys, that I have. That's the bullish case scenario. Now, there is another thesis that I have, and you got to pay attention to both of them because they're quite important. Now, the other one that you can look at is, let me look at the daily chart. We're looking at this count right here, 1, 2, 3, and now we're in the fourth count. Not the fourth count. I mean, we're in the ABC correction, and we retest this level. We kind of bounce from this level right here. So I want to see whether or not we're going to break this level over here. That's what I'm trying to see. Now, the other thing that I want to look at is I'm going to use my fib retracement tool. This here is a cycle. That's a complete cycle right there. So technically speaking, you can see a retracement level towards that 0.618, which is 454 on SPY. So you can see us break below and do that 454. And the way you'll see that happen is not with an ABC retracement, but with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pullback in terms of wave count. So want you guys to know about that as well. So let's jump into the, I think, the hour. So if that is to play out tomorrow or going into the week, what you'll see happen, instead of having an ABC correction, you're going to have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the way that will look is we will have, let me see if I could. Let me just do this. You will have 1, 2, and this entire thing here will be your 3. And I think you'll come back up somewhere around this 105 to 107 area. And I have data support Y around this area, 105 to 107. Let's just say around here. And then you'll have your C. I mean, your fifth wave to the downside. Let me change the color here. All right. So you have your 1, 2, 3, 4, and your 5. We're going to use our retracement tool. This here is going to be your third wave. You're going to come back up. You're going to reject it somewhere around with this level here. And there's a good reason I'm telling you to get rejected somewhere within this range over here. So that's somewhere around this range right here. Which is a 505 to 512. So 555 to 512, I'm calling maybe 507 area. And the reason I'm calling 507 as well is that if we're looking at the data here, on the gamma exposure, you have, we're right now at 595. You have that 505, 510, 520. We're currently at 490. So we are below $500. So we're getting pulled right now towards that 575. That's a big pull, which is the level I'm talking about at the bottom here, 573, 473, I think. And here it is, 475. This is pulling. Once you're below this $500 level, you're going to get pulled back down towards this 475. Now, this 505 here, once price start moving back up here, if you're in wave 4, guys, if you're in wave 4, if this is the other scenarios playing out, we're not in wave AB, if we're not doing an ABC, but rather an a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the downside, and we're going towards that that 618 retracement level to complete the entire cycle. Now you're talking about having a wave 4, and wave 4 will go somewhere around that 505 towards that 510 area that I talked about. Calling it somewhere within that range, and you could start to see price get pulled back down towards that 475. You're gonna get pulled here. Let me see if there's any other thing that you guys need to know about. You're seeing some calls being sold off. You see increase in puts over here. And you're seeing, so here it is. Here you're getting more call puts volume. Was that 522? And you have some calls being sold off. So you're seeing some bearish price action as well tomorrow. So you can see that push towards that 507, maybe anywhere between 505 to 512. And then watch for that level, guys. Watch for that level. Be very careful with that level. If you're jumping into calls or anything at that level thinking it's a breakout, be very careful, because you're going to complete the 5th leg down, which is towards that 453 area. So you have the 475, which I just showed you with the data. Where is the data? Give me a second. You have that 475 here, which is either the C wave or the third wave if you're doing the alternate count, which is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, I talked about the 454. Look where the other pull is, guys. 450. The whole market is manipulated. That's why technical analysis work. The data is already there. 450. So where is that? 454. It's already, the data institutions already put the data in there. They didn't put the data in there, but they're positioning themselves already for certain moves. So you got to watch for these levels. So I think we're gonna do a 5th wave if we see tariffs being going to play tomorrow, and it's being done, especially that China, I think it's like 100% or 105. I don't know, man. It's something 105% or something like that. Tariff in China. I don't know. I don't really follow it. I just follow the chart and money that's going on, because everything is just manipulated. So that's why TA works. So you're gonna see that I'm kind of rambling here for like 15 minutes on SPY. It's insane. Yeah. So that's the 2 scenario. 473 tomorrow. watch for that level, watch for a bounce on that level if anything, right? And if you get a bounce, it's going to be between 505 to 512, somewhere within that range. So watch to see whether or not what happens within that range, and then we could probably fulfill that wave, the fifth wave, if that sequence is being played out and the gamma exposure and everything is already set up for that. Yeah, so that's what I have going into tomorrow, guys. And that's what the data is supporting as well. So that's the plan going into tomorrow. And let me see what Elliott Wave forecast is forecasting for tomorrow. Okay, so we have SPY. So Elliott Wave is forecasting that 500. I'm saying anywhere between 505 to 510-ish. Let's say 507, and then that push down to the downside for tomorrow. So technically, what you'll see is somewhere around that area. So that's it pretty much that I have. Yeah. All right, guys. That's it. Later.